If you want to sound more like a French native speaker in casual conversations, then you need to know something called Apocope. Apocope is basically a shortcut for long words. You drop the end of the word and you get an apocope. For example, in English, you have info instead of information, or mic instead of microphone. And in French, we do the same. So in this video, I'm going to show you 15 sentences using very, very common apocopes that you can hear in everyday casual conversations in French. So let's start. Number one, on n'a pas la clim en France, which means we don't have aircon in France. So here, instead of using climatisation, I use clim. Just like in English, instead of saying air conditioner, you say aircon. Number two, il est accro aux jeux vidéo, which means he's addicted to video games. So here, accro comes from accrocher, which means hooked. And I personally use it a lot to say that I really like something, I'm really into something. So let's say that there's a TV show that I really, really like, then I'm going to say, je suis accro à cette série. Okay, so accro is very common. Number three, je suis les infos sur mon portable, which means I follow the news on my phone. So here, instead of saying information, we use info to say news. Number four, quand j'étais ado, j'étais fan de films d'horreur, which means when I was a teen, I was a fan of horror movies. So here, instead of adolescent, we use ado, just like teenager is teen. And for fanatic, we actually use fan, just like in English. Number five, lui, c'est un alcoolo, which means this guy, he's an alcoholic. So here, alcoolo comes from alcoolique. And when we say lui, it actually means him, literally, but you can translate by this guy there. Number six, aujourd'hui, c'est mon anniv. So this means today is my birthday. So here, instead of saying anniversaire, you can also say anniv. And if you want to wish someone a happy birthday, you can also say bon anniv, or you can also write it, bon anniv. Number seven, on a un examen dans l'amphi aujourd'hui. This means we have an exam in the lecture hall today. So here, instead of examen, we often use exam. And instead of saying amphithéâtre, we often use amphi. Number eight, j'utilise une appli de rencontre, which means I use a dating app. So here, instead of saying application, we say appli, just like you use app in English. Number nine, j'ai acheté un nouvel appart, which means I bought a new apartment. So here, instead of saying appartement, we say appart. Number 10, je passe l'après-midi à faire des exos, which means I'm spending the afternoon doing exercises. So here, instead of using après-midi, we often use après-midi, and instead of using exercice, we often use exo. And exercice in French is mainly when you have to do exercises for your studies. So let's say that you want to say, I need to exercise and go to the gym. In that case, in French, we would say, je dois faire du sport. Number 11, c'est dégueu, which means it's gross. So instead of saying dégueulasse, we usually say dégueu. Number 12, je suis dispo dans l'après-midi, which means I'm available in the afternoon. So here, instead of using disponible, we usually say dispo. And here again, instead of saying après-midi, we use usually après-midi. Number 13, je travaille sur mon ordi et je réponds au tel. So this means I'm working on my computer and I'm answering the phone. Here, instead of saying ordinateur, we usually use ordi. And instead of saying téléphone, we usually use tel. Number 14, je vais travailler mes abdos à la gym, which means I'm going to work on my abs at the gym. So here, instead of using abdominaux, we use abdos. And instead of using gymnastique, we use gym. Okay, this one's a little bit special because it's not really an apocope here. It's a different type of shortcut because here the whole term would be à la salle de gym or à la salle de gymnastique. But this term is not really correct actually, but we use it in everyday conversations. Je vais à la gym. But the correct term would be je vais à la salle de sport. This term is more correct to refer to the gym. But in everyday casual conversations, we use that a lot. Je vais à la gym, or some people also say je vais à la salle instead of saying je vais à la salle de sport. So salle de gymnastique actually refers to this, okay, but we use it all the time to say that we're going to the gym. Number 15, les enfants partent en colo, which means the kids are going to summer camp. So here, instead of saying colonie de vacances, we say colo. But colo is a little bit different from summer camp because it doesn't have to be in summer. And how it's organized, so let's say you have a group of kids and they're going on a trip to the sea, to the countryside, to the mountains, and it's organized by your city. And it could be 1 or 2 weeks or up to 3 weeks in summer. And together, the kids are doing activities, cultural activities also, and they learn also about the region there. So it's really fun for the kids, and it's a very common thing to do when you're a kid. So I used to go in colo all the time, so I used to love it. And it's a good thing for the parents because they don't have to worry about what to do with the kids, during the vacation if they have to work. And that's it for this video. Now you know about Apocopes, so don't hesitate to use them in everyday casual conversations. You will sound more natural and you will be able to speak faster also. Let me know in the comments if you know other French Apocopes, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!